Hi, I'm sick. Well, more specifically, I've been sick for the past few days. And I was going to go without making a video this week. And then I remembered, in literally my last video, I said I was going to make a video every week. So here we are. So you're laying in bed. You're in the trenches. This is where I've been for the past few days. And you're scrolling through Netflix or Amazon Prime or Peacock or whatever you got, right? And you are just holding out hope to find something to watch. You're in trouble. Because choosing something to watch while you're sick is almost impossible. I've heard a lot of theories from a lot of people on what the best movies to watch while you're sick are. And I have to say, I disagree with most of you. So I'm going to show you my super list and why each of these movies is on this list, because I have worked hard to make this list what I believe to be the strongest, best possible movies to watch while you're sick. So, let's get started, shall we? But before we do, thank you for subscribing. It really means a lot. But anyway, the first movie that I always like to watch when I'm sick is Clue. The Tim Curry, almost said Tim Carrey. The Tim shows where I am, right? The Tim Curry movie, Clue. Okay, can I say this a little bit faster? Honestly, I think it's perfect. And here's why. This is, as you would expect, a murder mystery comedy movie, right? It's very light, it's fun, but there is a mystery. So you might think to yourself, Brian, watching a mystery is not really ideal for the sick brain, because if you fall asleep and you wake up, oh, you might have missed something. But I disagree with you for this one movie in particular, and I'll tell you why. One, it's just a really fun movie. It's a really good movie. It's easy to watch. It's one of those just really light slapstick style comedies, and there's that mystery element to it. So if you're in that kind of sick mental state where you can't really sleep, but you can't really stay awake either, you're sort of drifting between reality and dreamland, this movie is absolutely ideal for exactly that mental place. Every time that I watch this movie when I'm sick, I find myself just kind of smiling along to it and just kind of feeling warmed by it. It's almost like a comfort movie, right? Where it just feels nice to watch, and it's really fun, over-the-top performances, so you don't really have to pay attention to what's happening. Hell, there's different endings at the end of the movie to really ring home that, yeah, it doesn't really matter. This is just an excuse to put some very funny people in some fun costumes with some a fun set with bright colors, and all in all, it's just one of the most delightful viewing experiences that you can possibly have. And every time I watch it, it helps me forget that I'm sick for a little while. And the mystery is just interesting enough to keep you watching, but if you fall asleep during it and you wake up, you don't feel the need to go back. This is actually going to be a trend you're going to notice through most of the movies that I'm going to recommend, with a few exceptions here, that they are just interesting enough to hold your attention, but not so interesting that they keep you from falling asleep. And if you wake up, you don't feel like you've really missed all that much. This movie is perfect for that. Even though it is a mystery, it's more of a screwball comedy than a mystery, and it's delightful. And something about Tim Curry's face just really speaks to my sick brain. So, if I've watched Clue, that means I know I'm stuck in bed for the day, and then I really gotta assess, is this going to be a multiple day sickness, or is this going to be just for now kind of sickness? Because now I'm at this point where I've watched something light and fun and I've enjoyed it, and your body, maybe it's just me, but it just craves to have something tangible, something to hold on to, something grand, some kind of grand adventure. So the next thing I do, pop on these bad boys. If I really feel like I'm going to be stuck in bed for who knows how long, The Lord of the Rings might just become your best friend. Let's get realistic here, okay? When I talked about Clue, one of the things I said that made it such a great sick movie is even if you haven't seen it, if you fall asleep, you don't feel like you've missed anything, right? Look at me, okay? Are you looking? If you haven't seen Lord of the Rings 100 times, or at least enough times to have the entire thing basically memorized, get your life together, okay? This is your sign from the universe. You got to rewatch Lord of the Rings. These movies are great. If you like the theatrical cut, if you like the extended edition, highly recommend the extended edition, especially if you are sick. These movies are freaking awesome. None of them are even in my favorite movies of all time, but I can't even deny that these are some of the best movies ever made. So you're laying there, you're sick, and you're like, I need something to keep me interested for 9 hours. Bada bing, bada boom. And you're gonna doze in and out of consciousness, and you're gonna wake up with Frodo and Sam, and you're gonna go to sleep, and you're gonna wake up and Boromir's gonna get shot, and then you're gonna go to sleep again, and you're gonna wake up, and then you're in frickin' Minas Tirith. And because you're such a normal, straight up yeah, you should make these videos while you're sick. Because you are a very normal, rational person, and you've seen all 3 of these movies 100 times, the extended editions, the theatrical cuts, the behind-the-scenes footage, you reference Weta Workshop on a daily basis, just like the rest of us, you're gonna wake up and fall asleep through this entire grand adventure, and you're gonna feel like you've achieved something while you're sick. And if that isn't the most incredible feeling in the world, I don't know what is. You will have felt like you have gone through the entirety of The Lord of the Rings, and you're gonna do it dozing in and out of consciousness. These movies hit very different when you're sick, because there's going to be long stretches where you're going to be awake and you're going to be miserable, but you're going to watch Sam and Frodo be miserable, and you're going to be like, I am not alone in this. And you're going to see Gollum eating that fish, and you're going to be like, damn, that fish looks really good right now. And you're going to ask yourself why, and then you're going to bring it up to your friends, and your friends aren't going to respect you for that question. Where in the world was I going with that? I could not recommend watching Lord of the Rings while you're sick enough. Alright, so let me paint you a picture. You have now watched 4 movies with a totaling runtime of somewhere in the vicinity of 10 to 11 hours of movie watching, and you're still feeling miserable. Now we're going to have to throw in something to shift your brain into a different place. You got to put yourself into a weird mindset. And the only way I really know how to do that, Coraline. Now I know what you're thinking. Brian, why do you have to put yourself in a weird mindset? This is the palate cleanser movie. If you've gotten to movie 5, you have found yourself in for the long haul. You don't know how many more movies you're going to need, but it's probably going to need to be more than one more. So you got to watch something weird, something out there. But again, can't be all that interesting. Coraline is perfect for this. The first 2/3 of the movie, almost nothing happens, but it's all interesting and fun to watch and strange. So this is probably the movie you're gonna watch while you're eating dinner, or you're drinking soup, or on your going through the NyQuil. Now, I am more of a fan of like Night Before Christmas versus Coraline if we're gonna be comparing Henry Selick claymation movies, but this one really suits being sick. This wasn't even a movie I'd really considered until my girlfriend actually brought up that she wanted to watch it while sick, and I'm like, you know what, this actually is a really good sick movie. The whole like last third of the movie is basically like a video game, and I don't know about you, but when I'm sick, I have a really hard time sitting down and focusing on a video game. So it's like watching a movie and beating a video game at the same time. I mean, you don't get better than that. It does get better than that. If probably not feeling like hell would probably be better than that. Okay, down the water drain. Now, oh good. I've got the one with the 3D glasses. I will say, just from my current experience of what I'm actively living through, I would not recommend 3D glasses when you're sick. It actually sucks. Have they always been this small, or is my head getting bigger? So here's kind of your screwball pick. You know, if you want to watch something else that's kind of a weird palate cleanser, you're welcome to do so. This has been my newest addition to this spot, so I mean, so far I like it there. So this would be my 4th recommendation to watch while you're sick. If you have seen all 5 of these movies, we gotta pull out the big guns. It's time for the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. That's right, all three of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies ever made. All 3 of them. 3 movies that have been made for the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy. I can almost guarantee you that this is going to be an entirely different video about what makes all 3 of these movies some of the best action movies ever made. But for right now, let's focus on why they're so good while you're sick. Again, we do get that grand adventure thing. You know, because the first one is fun and it does like have a full story, but if you get to the second and third one, that's kind of like continues that epicness of the adventure. Maybe this isn't everyone, but when I'm sitting there watching Pirates of the Caribbean 2, I'm like doing mental calculus to figure out like what's going on and who's connected to who, and that is just the perfect little puzzle for my brain when I'm sick. In fact, last time I looked through these movies, I realized that when I was sick the last time, I made a chart of what in the world is happening in Pirates of the Caribbean 2. So what I did is it looks like I wrote in every character and what exactly they want and how they connect to the other characters, which all it all ends up on this section called The Island. Oh, and this is a case from Blockbuster. I stole this from Blockbuster. I'm sorry, Blockbuster. For right now, I will just say, if you're looking for a recommendation and you're this deep in, look no further than Pirates of the Caribbean. Right. Now, I do have one more thing I could do for you. I know I said those were the big guns. That's, you know, after this point, we're almost in uncharted waters and you're going to be on your own. And I'm proud of you for making it this far if you have. But there's one thing I could do to send you off. I brought you in to this quest of sickness cinema with a smile. And frankly, I want to leave you with one. Because the one thing that you really need while you're sick, besides Dayquil, is none other than a pure injection of Jack Black right into your veins. If I was going to try to put it into words what makes School of Rock so special, it's got this wholesomeness to it that is really pure, but it's also insanely punk rock, which is a really fun combination. I mean, it's Jack Black at his absolute best. I mean, to this day, I think I saw an interview with him not too long ago where he talked about how if there's one character he's ever played that he's connected to most, it's got to be Dewey Finn in School of Rock. It's impossible to watch this movie. Do you hear my cat? This movie oozes positivity. You can't watch this movie and not smile and have a great time. Because if you've gotten through all of these, you need a little bit of this. This is what we call hope. So that's it. I feel like I always end my videos that way. Those are my suggestions. Again, past that point, it's off to you, but couldn't recommend these movies enough for when you find something that ails you and you just need a little bit of cinema in your life. I don't know what I'm talking about, man. I don't even know why I decided to make a video while I'm sick. So with that, good night. God bless. And get home safe. Oh, and don't forget to like, comment, and